guys, Mark with the Heart of Hunting here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a trail camera review. I am the whitetail guy on the team, so I spend more time with trail cameras than anybody else, and I've also owned the most. So over the last 6 years, I've probably owned 30, 40 trail cameras. My wife is cringing. So I have a lot of experience with a lot of different brands, some which I've sold off, some that have broken, so we're going to go through that. But today we're going to go through a review of the ones that I have sitting out in front of us. We have some Wildgame, we have a Stealthcam, we have a Wildview, which is also made by Stealthcam. It's an older model, and then we got a bunch of Moultries. And I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like, and if I would buy the camera again. So we'll start off with the Wildgame. These two here are the Blade X series, and this one, which I have two more of at home, I forget what model it is. It's from 2013. It's like WG6 or whatever. So those two, the Blade X5 are 5 megapixels, and this is a 6 megapixel camera. So what are the pros and what are the cons to the Wildgame? Pros to Wildgame: they're super cheap, super affordable. If you buy them in the store, you can expect to pay somewhere between $40 and $80. You can get a camera. If you were to order them online, I've seen them on eBay and Amazon for $15 to $40, new and used. So they're super affordable. They are very easy to replace. If you're hunting public land and your concern is theft or something happened to it, this is a great camera because it's easy to replace and you're not out a whole lot of money to go ahead and replace it. The other thing that with Wildgame is they're, compared to some of the other cameras, they're user friendly. Everything displays on the screen and it's easy to flip back and forth between the settings, easier than some of the other cameras that I've used. So that is definitely, but with Wildgame you get what you pay for. They have poor photo quality compared to other cameras. The one thing that I really hate about these is you can't ever turn them off. The only way to turn them off is to open it up and either take a battery out. That's the only way. I've heard guys say that you can take the SD card out, but that actually still leaves the camera on and it'll just drain the battery for next time. These have a lot of false triggers too, so it'll just take a picture of nothing. If the wind blows, you'll get a lot of a lot of pictures of nothing. And I think the biggest downfall is with these is they do what they say they're going to do. They take pictures, yes, but when you get a picture, there's a lot of motion blur in it, and you can't differentiate which buck it is. So they take pictures. You can get daylight and night pictures, but that's about it. You get what you pay for. If you're just looking to get a trail camera to get started, this is definitely a good camera to get into. If you're looking to get into a higher end for something like video or to differentiate, you really want to take inventory, this is probably not the camera for you. Next we have is the Wildview. This is the Wildview 30. I've had this camera for a long time, like 6 years I think. This thing is cheap, it's user friendly. All the settings are just push buttons on the back, so it's very easy to use. It takes pretty decent photos, and what's impressed me most about this camera is the 3-shot burst. It takes bam, bam, bam. There's no motion blur. It's quick succession. So that has been, something that I was really impressed with this camera. The biggest downfall to this camera is it has the worst battery life of any camera I've ever used. They just die. It doesn't matter if you put good batteries in it, cheap batteries, whatever, it dies. So this camera really shines in areas that I plan on going to frequently. I put it on, it has a pretty good trigger speed. Deer walks in front, you're getting a picture of the head and not the butt, which some of the other cameras don't excel at. But this one, I put it on a travel quarter and I'll face it. If the deer are coming this way, I'll face the camera like this, so I'm getting their head, and it triggers very, very well. So that's the good thing about this. The other bad thing about this camera is it has a short range. So if something's too far away, it's not going to trigger, which some of these other cameras, don't have that issue. So the biggest thing, but overall, I really like this camera. For being under 10 megapixels, it takes the best pictures under 10 megapixels of any camera that I've used. So I'm really impressed with it. It's just, it burns through batteries a ton, so I don't use it a whole lot. I use it during, the rut when I'm out hunting a lot, and so I can get out and check on it. Because you don't want you don't want a camera out there not taking photos. You want it to be doing its job, and scouting for you when you're not there. Next up is the Stealthcam. This is the Stealthcam PX14. I bought these as a pair. They retail about $80 a piece, 70, 80. And I bought these as a special. I think they were like $110 together as the package pair. These have decent photos. They don't have a lot of false triggers, so they're not just taking pictures of the wind blowing, which is a real plus with these. And these have pretty decent range. So I have used these at a particular place where I'm hunting a field. I have a pinch point in a field come together, and sometimes I don't know if the deer are going to jump to the field or if they're going to jump to the woods, the pinch point. And I've used this camera on one side and its twin brother on the other side, and it's done well. It has good range. It's reached out into the field 40, 50, 60 yards even at night, and allows me to know what's there. It's caught elk at about 60 to 70 yards in the field. So overall, I've been pretty impressed with this. The one thing, some of the cons of this that I don't really like are, it's not very user-friendly. It has a lot of settings that you can set. You just flip the button to change it, which is really nice, but it's difficult to set. You have to like really read the user manual or know what the codes on the little screen mean, and to be honest, I don't really have time for that. To me, I just want to pick up a camera. I want it to be easy to use. I want to be able to see it on the screen, and I want it to change it out in the field very rapidly if I need to. So that's what I'm looking for. And so it's not a very user-friendly camera. I want to be able to change things fast and be on my feet and be mobile and get out of there. I don't want to be leaving extra scent and spending extra time that's unnecessary. The other thing too is the nighttime quality photos of this aren't the best. It has pretty good range even at night, and I have good photos of bucks at night, but it's just, they tend to wash the deer out. So you'll get pictures of it and you'll tell that it's a buck, but you can't really differentiate what it is because the deer's kind of whitewashed out. Now, would I buy any of these cameras again if I was given the choice? The Wildgame, I would not buy again. The Stealthcam, I would not buy again. And the Wildview, I would buy again. So last up, we have the Moultries, and as you can see, I own quite a few of those. These two are the AC-20. This is the AC-35. This is the M series. This is the 180 Pano. This is the M999i, and then this is the Moultrie Mobile unit, which we'll go over as well. I'd say these four cameras are very similar. This is the lowest end. This is like their higher end. Any camera that you see here that we've talked about thus far is under $100, so pretty affordable. The one thing that I love about Moultrie is that they're pretty affordable. They take pretty good quality photos for their price point. They're very user friendly, and if you were to compare these to the other ones, there's not a whole lot of motion blur. They take good quality photos even at night as compared to the other ones. The biggest con is that the nighttime photos aren't as good as some of the other ones, so it does take good photos at night, but the quality just isn't as good if I was to rate it in comparison to some of the other brands that I've seen. And the other thing with Moultrie is they false trigger all the time. You get photos of everything. Dust, wind, branches, leaves. If something twitches, you got a picture of it. And you have to take that as a good or a bad thing. You don't get a lot of missed photos. You're not getting photos of animals, rear ends. You're getting lots and lots of photos. So you don't miss anything. For me, I don't mind going through 4,000 photos to get to the 40 that I'm looking for, but some people, they're not interested in that. And I get it. If you're going to the stand real quick and you want to pop the card in, it can get annoying going through all that real fast. But overall, good quality cameras, super affordable, and they have lasted me a long time. None of these have failed me. So on to the Pano 180. I really like this camera. This camera is, I think, retails in like the 150 to 180 range. I got it as a gift, so I don't actually know how much it cost. The one thing that I love about this camera is it's super easy to use. Everything on the screen is right on the screen, so it's easy to change, super user friendly. And I like to position this in areas where deer could enter from multiple areas, such as field. So put it on a fence post and I'm getting 180 degrees. And so what I like about that is, especially early in the year when bucks are traveling in bachelor groups, with one of these cameras, you're just getting one still image of what's going on, but you're not seeing what's going on around it. So if deer are coming in a line, you're getting the first one. If there's a delay at all, you could be missing the second one, which could be the buck that you're looking for. With this, you don't miss any of that. You're getting 1, 2, 3 images, and you can see exactly, you know, all 5 deer together if they're coming in as a group. That's the one thing I really love about this camera. The big downside, besides the size, is the batteries. It takes C batteries. They're kind of expensive, they're kind of bulky, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to change. The battery sensor is good on this, so that's a positive. That's one thing I forgot to mention about the Stealthcam. Another negative about the Stealthcam is I don't like the battery sensor on it. It has a 3-bar sensor, so once it gets to 2 bars, you don't know if it's actually on the higher end of the 2 bars or the lower end going to 1 bar, versus the other ones, they give you like a percentage of what's left, whether it's 15%, whether it's 80%, and so you can tell how much battery is left. And for me, that's super important because I need to know if I need to bring batteries next time with me. So these, it's kind of a pain in the butt. It's a gamble. When it gets down to 2 bars, I just automatically start bringing them, and when it gets to 1 bar, I change them out. The M999i. This camera is like the Cadillac of cameras from Moultrie. It is also the most expensive. I also got this one as a gift. So Moultrie, my wife and I actually took a picture in our wedding attire at the venue that we were at in front of a Moultrie camera. We sent it in just to, you know, as a joke, like, hey, we took a photo in front of your camera, and Moultrie sent us that camera. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't own one of these. But I'm super glad that I do, because this is the best camera that I own. And what I love about it, the worst part about this camera is the size. Other than that, I love everything about it. You can view the pictures right on the camera, so you don't have to bring a camera, you don't have to bring, you know, a phone to look at it. It's very user friendly. Everything's on the screen. It's just like using a computer. It's just like using a phone. Just switch it out. This also hooks up to the Moultrie Mobile. And what I love about using this camera versus these is that this is a 20 megapixel camera. It's a higher resolution, so if I need to zoom in on the picture to get details, you're not getting distorted pixelated pictures, versus these, if I have to zoom in, you're getting a little bit more, but it's not bad. Super good camera. I would buy 20 more of these. And I just found the other day, I found them online on sale for, I think they were like 99 bucks. So you can now get them for under 100 bucks. So if you had the option to pick up one of these online for 99 or buy, you know, one of the other brands, you know, if you're looking at 80 to 120, I don't know why you wouldn't buy this camera over those. The Moultrie Mobile unit, I've used this for 2 years now, and I've also, a close friend of mine has used it for the past 3. I love this thing. This is the original modem. I think it's the MV1. You have to have one of the modern cameras, and then you just put the batteries in it, you plug it in to the camera, and then you use the app and it'll send pictures to you. It's great, it's wonderful, it's changed the way that I hunt. I put this in areas that I don't like to frequent, that are high impact areas that I want to stay out of. Put one of these in there, put it to a camera, and I can leave it alone for 4 months, but I still know what's going on. I'm not in there leaving scent, I'm not in there, you know, interrupting the deer, and I know exactly what's going on. The one negative about this is that once the battery gets low, and by low I mean like 30 to 40%, it stops sending pictures to you. But if you put good high quality batteries in it, it'll last you a long time. I had this out for like 4 months last year with the Energizer lithium ion plus batteries, and it was sending me pictures forever. I think the batteries in the camera died before this did. So good quality, super cool. And it's super cool if you're into, you know, getting pictures sent to you from the field. It's definitely an affordable way to go. They are coming out this year with, they're integrated, so they have the modem built right into the cameras like a lot of the other brands do, like Covert and some of the others. But the price point on them is like 170 bucks. So if you're looking into something like that, I have no idea why you wouldn't, you know, at least explore that. Some of the other brands that I've used, actually have used Covert, and Covert is a love-hate relationship. As you can see, they're not sitting here, and there's a reason for that. I have owned 2 Covert MP8s, and they both failed me within 1 season. One of them, putting the batteries in, the spring broke off. Like the third time I think it was like the third time I had used it. I hadn't even owned it for like 3 months, and the battery broke. So that camera quit working. And then the other one I had worked for 4 to 6 months, and then it quit working. It took decent quality photos, but the durability of them was just poor. And for me, I don't mind replacing a camera, but I don't want to replace a camera in 6 months. I want to at least get a couple seasons out of it to feel like I've got my money's worth. So a lot of my friends have used cameras. They have used Covert cameras. They really love them. Me personally, I'd pass on them. I probably wouldn't buy another one. And if Covert sent me one, I'd probably sell it. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. I don't know why I would choose a Covert over something like Moultrie. And lastly, one of the other brands that we've used is the Spypoint. Now, I don't have the Spypoint because I sold it, but it's the one that has like the solar cam on the top. And overall, really good camera. It takes decent photos, not as great as some of the other ones, but the one area that camera really shines in is battery life. It's taking, you know, it's got the solar charger on top, it's recharging your batteries, and the thing lasts forever. That one's a little higher price point. I think it's like 120, 130. I'm not 100% on that, but if you're looking for something that lasts a long time, that you don't have to go change a lot, it's decent quality photos, that's definitely a camera that you should implore. Would I buy a Moultrie again? Absolutely. I'll probably only buy Moultrie. I've been super impressed with how they have performed for me. I haven't had any of them fail me, and if you're buying something and it's lasting multiple seasons, it's not failing. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So that's kind of how I feel. Thanks for watching. This concludes today's video. Hope it gives you some insight as you're either looking to purchase a camera for the first time or simply add to your collection. We've hit on some pros and cons. If there's a camera that I missed that you think I'd be interested in, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. If you have any questions or insight, tips, I'd love to hear about it in the comments section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content just like this.